The one thing that I had was you were talking about kind of not necessarily, but like people migrating more to creators because they see people on YouTube or whatever talking about WordPress, and then they establish that relationship, almost a little bit, and then it's like, hey, this person is in the know, they're following it more than I am, I'm going to get some news from them. I think that is extremely natural. I think that's the way that almost the world's going in every industry. People generally relate. I learned this after a lot of playing around and a lot of just observing other people. People really connect with other people way more than they connect with like brands. And I don't mean to say you can't have a brand. I'm just saying that if it's one person, this is why I think it would be so powerful if we had a face of WordPress. Again, it's not easy to implement that, but I'm saying like a spokesperson, right? That is just delivering that information. It could be multiple people too, but like if you knew like there was like kind of like somebody every week that was like, again, the press secretary of WordPress for this time that was delivering that message and speaking on it as much as they could with other people asking questions and things. I think it's just you become to know that the platform through a person you associate it with that. Just an idea. Again, there's probably holes in that, but that coupled with this marketing idea and this marketing push, I don't think it's about access. I think it's about a centralized place to do it. And Anne is fantastic. That hallway hangout, I saw it last month. I don't know if she or somebody else is putting on a new one. I have it on my calendar for, I think, next week, I believe. Like those types of conversations are so, so good. Maybe I'm in the minority, but I know Peter is in here and he made a comment about the Slack. Like it is so difficult to like try to go through all that and understand. I'm not saying we should just get rid of Slack. I'm just saying there needs to be a way that like the stuff can get kind of like filtered and spoken in a like a one, again, a weekly meeting or something like that is more digestible for somebody that's not actively contributing, has to see every single line of whatever is going on there. And then you can always pop in there to see more context. Like in because you're not going to get this. If WordPress is going to literally be for everybody, you need to somehow like market it in that way where other people can digest this stuff. Like you and I, we're in here and we understand what's going on. We can hear the conversations. We can talk about it, but that's not for everyone. I mean, like, why would everyone want to be in that Slack? That's not what it is. There needs to be something that's more like front facing in a way, even though I understand the core of this project is different than like an actual product. There's still got to be some things we can kind of like pull from there. And I'm not saying these are easy questions, but I'm saying like, if this is what it is and we see problems, let's like, kind of maybe, any way I can help too, let me know. But
yeah, one of the issues, and this is the issue that any WordPress creator faces, and I've talked about this a zillion times about WordPress media, the value of WordPress media, especially WordPress news. Nobody cares about WordPress news. Okay? I'm a guy who publishes a WordPress news newsletter. Nobody cares. And when I say nobody cares, I say the peak amount of people on the entire earth is 10,000 English-speaking people on earth that care.
Define WordPress news, though.
Exactly. So WordPress news is what you and I are talking about right now. The Make team, potential WordPress media core, what's going into WordPress 6.5 in terms of features and how that relates to end users, the business of what's happening in the industry, what Matt Mullenweg's up to, the dynamic of automatic versus WordPress.org, WordPress.org responsibility of the open web, how AI plays into the future of WordPress. Very few people care about this stuff. Flip that to, how do I make a landing page with Gutenberg? How do I design an animation with Elementor? How do I make an efficient web stack with Bricks? Right? Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people care. I mean, look at the growth of WP Beginner and our colleagues who have other, large 500,000 subscriber YouTube channels covering how to design things with WordPress or other softwares, right? Massive audience. That's a big audience. The people who actually care about what's happening to WordPress, very little. If I look back at my agency career and I ask the 500 clients that I serviced over that time, probably more, do you care
Yeah.
about what's coming next? No, they don't. Which is why I created the WP Minute, to make a 5-minute micro dose of WordPress news, because maybe, just maybe, you'll listen to 5 minutes about what's happening to WordPress, right? And I think that is just one of the inherent issues. If you talk about development in WordPress, massive audience. If I tweet it out, Mark and I talk about, well, maybe this would work. Mark and I talk about the struggles of Gutenberg versus Nick Diego showing you how to work with the API, interactivity API. Thousands of people are going to be like, show me how to do this interactive API, because most of the audience who cares about this stuff, they just love it for the code and the development, right? And then somebody comes along who wants to analyze this space. You again?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's not really pushback, but the only thing that I would say kind of in tandem to that would be that, if we look at these other players that are gaining, and I know they're private, but Webflow and Squarespace and Shopify and Wix, I mean, they are like, if you ask most WordPress people, they're going to be like, well, those platforms are doing like, like they're making web development almost feel like a game, almost kind of like there's some sort of sexiness to it and all that. And they're making it seem so simple, so easy for the common person. And I'm not certain that that's like the way to go, but there is definitely something to kind of like take from that, because you look at, again, I'm not saying that WordPress needs to copy this. I'm just saying you look at a commercial, even in front of a YouTube video, for like on our videos, like it'll be like Wix ads, and it'll be like somebody making it seem like really easy to build a website, whatever. My question would be, and I don't know the answer, is do those ads target and solicit a response from people that actually want to build their own website? Or do those ads also solicit a response from, or elicit whatever, a response from somebody that needs a website built for them, and then they think, oh wow, Wix is the platform, I'm going to find somebody that builds on Wix? Because if that happens at all, then WordPress could also do that, could also kind of pull from that a little bit. If we make it seem like it's a different type of platform, but I think it's missing a little bit of that again, that, I don't know a better word to use, that like the sexiness of it. There's no like marketing around that piece of it to bring people in, because once you're in, then you should probably care. You know what I mean? This is the thing that's really interesting to me, is there's a lot of people that probably watch my videos, your videos, whatever, and they don't know this stuff. Now you tell me to go in this Slack and I look at this, I'm like, okay, this is a little interesting now that I'm seeing under the hood of everything that's going on, and I have these opinions now. And it's, if you're building a agency on this, or if you're building a plugin on this, like you should probably a little bit care about the platform that's actually there. And maybe that's how we funnel people into the news space and like the actual, that piece of it. Still not going to be 100% people that care, but I'm just saying, I think that it's more of a holistic thing where you kind of bring people into the ecosystem with the shiny thing almost, and then there's more to it, kind of like you're saying. So
that's why I love talking to Mark. He's young, he's optimistic. He sounds like me, 15 years ago. Yeah, Wix and Squarespace, great. So if you ever analyze their marketing, it has nothing to do about building a website. It is just about, you are a yoga instructor and you want to have your yoga classes, sell your yoga classes.
Yeah.
You're an artist, you want to sell art. You're a florist, you want to sell flowers. They're showing you how to do these things in the commercial. It has nothing to do about, hey, look how fast Wix or Squarespace is. It all has to, you have a problem, we're going to solve it for you. Use this platform. Because the inverse is WordPress, which is why it works so well, is because there are hundreds of thousands of folks like you and me who don't want to use those platforms, who want to run a services agency, and we want to learn how to build this stuff on our own in this open source world. So the marketing is towards, hey, look how fast and cool this software is, and look what you can do with it, and you can automate, and you can unlock, and you can database, and you can caching, and you can PHP, and you can JavaScript. Oh my God, look how great this is. It is very much designed for us. And that's the problem that, this whole endeavor that we're on is to try to get that end user to say, you know what, I don't want to use Wix or Squarespace. I do want to use WordPress because I should care that it's open source and I can control it. So that's what we're up against. And largely, when you look at, and I'm 100% with you, the last time I interviewed Mullenweg a couple years ago, I said that what we need is that face. We need that product person to lead the product, to be the face of the product, and to come out there. And I think that we're starting to see that more now in the state of the words, state of the word, but primarily that was him. And I don't know if we're ever going to decouple that, but like state of the word has always been like him and the direction and the thought process and giving us that Apple-esque type of event. And, then from there, Josefa should be the next person in line. And then you can kind of trickle it down to the sergeants of the Gutenberg project and so on and so forth. But I would say that it would be great to have that kind of presence, though I just don't know if you can do it in an open source world. I think in a private company, it works. If you looked at Shopify and compared the Shopify marketing, you see human beings, right? You see the CEO, you hear the CTO talk about their technology and their stack and their enterprise and how they solve. WordPress.com doesn't even give you that, which is like uber surprising, for many reasons, but I don't know if we'll ever get there.